Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome to our next lesson. You guys remember when I said our first lesson was, hey, let's take pronouns, right? We had huwa, huma, home brings back memories. You guys have gone way far, and some of you probably backed out just because you couldn't memorize huwa, huma, hum. But anyways, you're way far from that. Alhamdulillah. Now you take huwa, and I said, hey, if it's kitab, right? And I said kitabuhum. What does this mean? And you guys, we said, hey, it is their book. But I said, no, don't tell me it's their book. Say book of their. I want to see the word their. Okay, because in English you can say his book, right? You can say Harun's book. Harun, just put an apostrophe s and say Harun's book. It shows belongingness, right? But this can also be put into book of Harun. That's the way I want everybody to explain how basically belongingness is in Arabic, right? The book of Allah, the messenger of Allah, the prophet of Arabs, right? Words like that. I want you to tell me in basically in I want to see off, right? So that was like the first lesson, that hey, I want to see off. Kitabu hum, kitabu hu, kitabu ha, right? Book of theirs, book of his. Now we're gonna go a little bit more detail and forget about pronouns for now. But anytime you have a case such as, let's say, book of Allah, book of Allah, the word book is mudaf. Just know the word for now. And the word Allah is mudaf ilayh, something like that, ilayh, right? So the key is anything that comes after off is mudaf ilayh. Anything that comes before off is called mudaf. So everybody should be with me. This concept is called Idhafa, okay, which is how to explain the belongingness. Probably on every single page of Quran you're gonna see some form of Idhafa, and we use that in English a lot, right? Every time, and then he went to Harun's house, or he went to play at my mom's kitchen, right? You're using belongingness a lot in any day language. So it's important to understand the concept of Idhafa. So let's say, so let me write this in Arabic, because it's an Arabic class, so it'll be helpful if we write this in Arabic. So you're not gonna see the word off in Arabic, okay? But it's there, right? Just like when you say kitabuhum, there's no word for off. It's just implied when you're translating. So when we have kitabullahi, this is mudaf, and the word Allah is mudaf ilayh. I think that's how you spell it, mudaf ilayh. Okay, now there's some rules that you must know for kitab, and you must know rules for the word Allah. Okay, what are those? And just a side tangent that everybody should know, that when you have alif lam right next to something, right? When you say al-kitab, you remember kitab is kitabun. Al does not like tanween, so it becomes al-kitabu. Okay? Now, if it was muslimuna, you can say al-muslimuna. Al does not make something light or heavy, or something light, okay? Because kitabu looks light, right? But muslimuna is still heavy. So the only thing that I can say is that al doesn't like tanween on the word it comes with, on the word that comes after it. Write this down. Okay, that's your al. Al is always going to be it just doesn't like tanween. Okay, it has nothing to do with light or heavy. It just doesn't like tanween. So you can say al muslimuna, but you cannot say al kitabun. It has to be al kitabu. Okay, So that's a rule that you must know. Now, so let's go back to our blank page. We had mostly kitabullahi, right? The word kitab is mudaf. The word Allah is mudaf ilayh. Something that you should know right away, the kitab, the word mudaf, okay, right here, and this is mudaf ilayh. Ilayhi. Alright, mudaf must be light. Must be light. If that's how you spell light. We had a, I guess nobody knows how to speak English, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be light and heavy, not L-I-G-H-T. But whatever the case, we're gonna use L-I-G-H-T. Maybe that's how you say light, which means, you know, the opposite of heavy. Maybe I don't know how to speak English, but anyways, must be light. Okay, must be light, and cannot have alif lam. You cannot say al-kitabullahi. As soon as you say al-kitabullahi, you know that it can either it just doesn't make sense, or there's no way it can be an idafa. It's not showing any belongingness. The kitab belongs to Allah. This is the book of Allah. No, because alif lam cannot be on mudaf. And mudaf ilayh is always jar, state of jar. That's all you gotta know. Now you already know how things look like when they're in jar. You already know how things look like when they're light, and just don't put an alif lam on it. That's all you gotta know. In order for me to explain you the concept of idafa, I had to first teach you what rafa nasab jar means. Then I had to teach you what heavy and light looks like. Not what it means, but what it looks like. Light and heavy doesn't really mean anything. It just, why something should be light is cases like this. So remember, I had 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, number 1, you know what makes things light? Well, here's one. Mudaf always must be light. We'll figure out what these 2, 3, 4 are in future lessons, but for now, just know that what makes something light is mudaf. Okay, mudaf should always be light. Now, when is something mudaf? When it comes, when you want to show that the belongingness, like kitabullahi, rasulullahi, right? So in this case, let's see how it was evolved. Let's see how it was evolved, right? You know, there's a word called kitabun. By the way, remember, I did not say mudaf should always be rafa, okay? I just said just should always be light and cannot have alif lam. So you have kitabun and you have Allahu, and you wanted to say that this book belongs to Allah. Well, first thing you would do is make this light. So this kitab becomes kitabu, okay? And then you have word Allahu. But we said that if you want to show belongingness, the word Allah should always, which is the mudaf ilayh, should always be jar. So that's what we'll do. Here's your jar, kitabullahi. That's how it became from kitabun to Allah. How come it's not Allahun? Because the word Allah always is gonna have alif lam, right? And that's why you will never have Allah as Allahun, Allahan, Allahin. The word Allah will always be Allahu, you know, Allaha, Allahi. Like you can have Inna Allah or Bismillah Allahi, right? Kitab and Allahu la ilaha, right? But you're never gonna have an in with the word Allah. What? Because alif lam is all is here, and we just introduced a new rule that alif lam cannot have a tanween. Now in this case, since the word Allah is mudaf ilayh, it becomes kitabullahi. That's why it's a jar. Now let's look at another example. Let's say we take a random word. This is totally random. I'm just going to take something you might not have heard, but let's say you had something like ism. Right? Let's call it ismun, because that's how it will be in the normal form. Ismun. It means name. And let's take another random word. I don't know. Let's take Allah again. Totally random. It's going to be Allahu, right? And let's make a mudaf ilayh out of it. We know that mudaf should not have alif lam. In this case, it doesn't. It should be light, so it becomes ismu, right? Ismu, and then let's put Allah. Since this is a mudaf ilayh, it's gonna be ismullahi, ismullahi. Okay. Now that we have that, let's try. So we have, this is an idafa. Let's add a random harf jar to it. Let's take a total random harf jar. Let's just start with ba. Okay, we take a ba. Right? You know that when harf jar attacks an ism which comes after it, it becomes jar. It becomes jar, right? And that's why you have bismi. Bismi. To spell it right, you just basically say bismi. And that's why you have bismillahi. Alright? So you have ismullahi, which is mudaf ilayh. Ism is not heavy, it's light because it's mudaf. And then the ba attacks ismi, which makes ism in the status of jar as well. Right? But it's still light. And ba makes this jar because ba is a harf jar. And then Allahi, the word Allah is jar because mudaf ilayh should always be jar. And that's why you have bismillahi, right? So so let's do another one. And by the way, you can see that mudaf ilayh can have alif lam. Let's do another one. Last one. Totally random, just like Bismillah was totally random. I just took random harf jar, random word like ism, and the word Allah, and we came up with Bismillah, which some of you might have heard. Let's do a random harf jar, which is min. Random ism called sharrun. Waswasu. Why is it now waswasun? Because I'm adding alif lam to it, so it's going to be al-was wasu. Again, you can check up on the spelling, but that's how it is. Al-waswasu. Sharrun min. What min is going to do is, okay, so first of all, I want to say evil of whisper. Okay, evil of whisper. If I want to make it an idafa, first thing I have to do is make this light, so it becomes sharru. And I want to make this al-waswasu, it has to be al-waswasi. It has to be in the state of jar. So it becomes sharrul waswasi, which means evil of whisper. Whisperer, I think. Alright? Evil of whisperer. Waswasil. Alright? So min sharril waswas. C. Now, if I add a harf jar like min, then the shar becomes sharri. That's why you have min sharril waswasi. Okay, so that's something that you've heard, min sharril waswasil khannas, right? And that's so basically it's an idafa, and it's also have harf jar attacking the mudaf. And so now you have learned, rafa nasab jar, light or heavy. This is all talk about the status, the four properties of ism. We're just still with status. Light and heavy. What else you have? You got harf nasab, right? You have harf jar, and you have idafa. And idafa is one of the reasons why things can be light, because mudaf always is light. We'll talk about what the other three are, but this is it. Now your homework is basically memorize list of harf nasab, harf jar, and then we have idafa, how the idafa is done, practice, right? And the most important, look at the Quran, start reading, okay, and see, why why words are jar or nasab, or rafa? Why are they light or heavy? These questions should be popping up in your head, and you should have most of the rules that we've already learned to figure out why things are the way they are. And with that, we will end, and inshallah, next week is off, okay? And then also because of Thanksgiving, and after that we have a class the week after that. So inshallah, enjoy your vacation, and we'll see you. But make sure, of course, there's no vacation from Quran. You're always going to be reading it every day. Make sure you try to basically look at the Quran and see why things are the way they are. Look at it from the grammatical point of view. That's how you will be putting what we have learned into action. And then of course, goal is to keep on adding more vocab as well as you go. And inshallah, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.